Good evening and welcome to Jamaica News Now. I'm your host, and thank you for joining us for your latest roundup of the stories making headlines across Jamaica. Tonight, police intensified their crackdown on crime with a series of major firearm sieges in St. James and St. Thomas, while Operation Reset continues to disrupt criminal activity across western Jamaica. We'll also examine a developing homicide investigation in Clarendon, where two men were found dead inside a burnt-out vehicle, and another fatal incident in St. Elizabeth, where police are probing the shooting death of a man during an alleged break-in at a minimart. Also ahead, a Portmore man is sentenced to more than 14 years in prison after a brutal attack on his girlfriend. A Discovery Bay security guard is charged following a supermarket shooting, and the Transport Authority reports seizing more than 200 public passenger vehicles since the introduction of the new fare structure as it cracks down on overcharging and license breaches. In other news, the People's National Party announces that Dwayne Vaz has stepped down from his shadow cabinet to focus on constituency responsibilities. We also take a look at new population figures showing that births continue to outnumber deaths in 2025, even as migration remained a major factor affecting Jamaica's population growth. Plus, health officials in Westmoreland are urging parents and schools to remain alert following a rise in cases of hand, foot, and mouth disease among young children. Those are the headlines. Stay with us as we break down each story with the facts, the context, and what they mean for you. This is Jamaica News Now. Let's get started. Transport Authority seizes more than 200 public passenger vehicles in crackdown on fare violations. The Transport Authority says it has seized more than 200 public passenger vehicles, PPVs, since the introduction of Jamaica's revised public transportation fare structure in June. According to the authority, the enforcement action forms part of an intensified island-wide operation targeting drivers who have been charging commuters above the approved fares or operating outside the conditions of their road licenses. The seizures underscore the regulator's commitment to ensuring that the new fare system is properly implemented and that passengers are protected from unlawful practices. The authority reported that many of the vehicles were found to be in breach of licensing conditions, including operating unauthorized routes, carrying passengers contrary to permit requirements, or demanding fares higher than those approved under the revived schedule. Officials have maintained that while the fare adjustment was introduced to reflect increased operating costs within the transport sector, all licensed operators are required to adhere strictly to the approved rates and the terms of their road licenses. Enforcement teams have continued to conduct inspections and spot checks across major transport hubs and public roadways. Transport Authority officials are urging commuters to familiarize themselves with the approved fare schedule and to report instances of overcharging or other breaches by public transport operators. The regulator has warned that enforcement activities will continue across the island, with offending operators facing vehicle seizures, prosecution, and other penalties provided under the Road Traffic Act and the Transport Authority Act. The authority says the ongoing crackdown is intended to promote fairness within the public transport system, protect commuters, and encourage greater compliance among licensed PPV operators. Security guard charged after supermarket shooting in Discovery Bay. A 51-year-old security guard has been charged after allegedly shooting a male customer during a physical altercation at a supermarket in Discovery Bay, St. Anne. The accused, Garrett Wright of Standfast District in Brownstown, now faces charges of wounding with intent, using a firearm to commit a felony, and possession of a firearm to cause injury. The charges follow investigations into an incident that occurred on Tuesday, July 7th. According to investigators, the shooting took place during a confrontation between Wright and the customer inside the supermarket. During the altercation, Wright allegedly discharged his licensed firearm, injuring the man. The wounded customer was taken to hospital for treatment, while the incident was reported to the police, who launched an investigation into the circumstances surrounding the shooting. Following the investigation, detectives charged Wright with the offenses. The matter is expected to proceed before the courts, where the allegations will be tested. Police have not disclosed additional details regarding the events leading up to the confrontation or the condition of the injured customer. The case serves as another reminder of the legal responsibilities placed on licensed firearm holders, particularly security personnel, when responding to confrontations in public spaces. Man fatally shot during alleged break-in at St. Elizabeth Minimart. A man was fatally shot during an alleged confrontation at a minimart in Ballards Valley near Junction, St. Elizabeth, on Saturday morning. Preliminary reports indicate that the shooting occurred during what investigators believe was an attempted break-in at the business. The man's identity has not yet been released pending official notification of his relatives, and detectives are continuing their investigation into the circumstances surrounding the incident. The fatal shooting is one of several significant law enforcement developments reported across St. Elizabeth within the past 12 hours. Police say officers involved in Area 3's Operation Reset have intensified their efforts to disrupt criminal activity throughout the parish. In separate operations, law enforcement personnel seized 2 illegal firearms and arrested 2 men in connection with robbery-related offenses, underscoring the ongoing crackdown on violent crime and illegal weapons. Investigators are working to determine the full sequence of events that led to the fatal shooting at the Minimart, including whether any additional individuals were involved. Meanwhile, police have reiterated that Operation Reset will continue across Area 3 with increased patrols, intelligence-led operations, and targeted enforcement aimed at removing illegal firearms, apprehending wanted individuals, and improving public safety. Anyone with information that may assist the investigation is being urged to contact the police or Jamaica Crime Stop. Dwayne Vaz steps down from PNP Shadow Cabinet. The opposition People's National Party has announced that Dwayne Vaz has stepped down from his shadow cabinet following discussions with opposition leader Mark Golding. In a statement, the party said Vaz had decided to focus on his constituency responsibilities and as a result will no longer serve as the PNP's deputy spokesperson on roads and works. The PNP indicated that the decision was reached amicably and reflects Vaz's desire to dedicate more time and attention to representing his constituents. The party did not indicate that the move was connected to any disciplinary matter or internal dispute, instead describing it as a shift in priorities to strengthen its constituency work. No immediate announcement was made regarding who will assume the shadow cabinet portfolio. The development comes as both major political parties continue preparations for future parliamentary business and next general election, with ongoing adjustments to their parliamentary teams and organizational structures. The PNP has thanked Vaz for his contribution in the shadow cabinet and reaffirmed its commitment to maintaining a strong parliamentary opposition while continuing to advance its policy agenda. Police probe discovery of 2 charred bodies in burnt-out vehicle in Clarendon. Police in Clarendon have launched an investigation following the discovery of the charred remains of 2 men inside a burnt-out motor vehicle in Bullhead Mountain, Wexford, during the early hours of Saturday morning. The deceased have been identified as 25-year-old farmer Daniel Thomas and 22-year-old Tyrone Thompson, otherwise known as Baba, both of Good Hope district in the parish. Investigators are working to determine the circumstances that led to their deaths. According to preliminary reports, the burnt vehicle was discovered in a remote community, prompting a police response. Upon examining the scene, officers found the bodies of the 2 men inside the vehicle. Crime scene investigators processed the area, and the remains were later removed for post-mortem examinations, which are expected to assist investigators in determining the exact causes of death. Detectives are treating the case as a major investigation and are pursuing several leads to establish how the vehicle came to be destroyed by fire and whether foul play was involved. Police have appealed to anyone with information that could assist the investigation to contact the Clarendon Police Crime Stop at 311 or the nearest police station. The investigation remains ongoing. SWAT team seizes iPod rifle during intelligence-led operation in St. James. Members of the Jamaica Constabulary Forces Specialized Operations SWAT team seized a high-powered rifle and ammunition during an intelligence-led operation in Rosehill, St. James on Saturday, July 11th. According to the police, the operation resulted in the recovery of an III multi-caliber rifle along with 15 5.56 caliber rounds of ammunition. No further details have been released regarding any arrests connected to the seizure. The police say the operation formed part of an ongoing effort to target illegal firearms and disrupt criminal networks operating within the parish. The recovery of the military-style rifle represents another significant weapon seizure by law enforcement as security forces continue intelligence-driven operations aimed at reducing violent crime and removing illegal weapons from Jamaica's streets. Investigators are continuing their inquiries to determine the origin of the firearm and identify those responsible for its possession. The seizure comes amid intensified security operations across western Jamaica, with police maintaining that intelligence-led interventions remain a key strategy in combating organized crime and improving public safety. Members of the public with information related to illegal firearms are being encouraged to contact the police or Jamaica Crime Stop. Portmore man jailed more than 14 years for choking and burning girlfriend. A Portmore man who choked his girlfriend until she lost consciousness before setting her on fire has been sentenced to serve more than 14 years in prison. Lava Abraham, a 28-year-old laborer of Gerger Park, Portmore, was sentenced on Friday in the St. Catherine Circuit Court by Justice Yvonne Brown. The court imposed a sentence of 14 years and 7 months for assault occasioning grievous bodily harm with intent and 3 years, 2 months and 28 days for choking with intent. The prosecution established that Braham violently attacked the woman, choking her until she became unconscious before setting her ablaze. The victim survived the attack but sustained serious injuries. Following an investigation by the police, Braham was arrested, charged, and later brought before the court, where he was convicted in connection with the offenses. Justice Brown handed down the sentence on Friday, bringing the case to a close in the St. Catherine Circuit Court. The matter highlights the serious legal consequences for violent offenses involving domestic abuse and the use of extreme violence. Authorities continue to encourage victims of domestic violence and members of the public to report incidents of abuse to the police or seek assistance through the appropriate support agencies. Jamaica records population growth as births continue to outnumber deaths. Jamaica recorded a modest population increase in 2025, according to the latest survey, which showed that the island registered 28,900 births and an estimated 21,300 deaths during the year. The figures resulted in a natural increase of 7,600 people, meaning the number of births exceeded the number of deaths. The data provides an indication of the country's ongoing demographic trends amid changing migration patterns. The survey also found that migration continued to have a significant impact on Jamaica's population. An estimated 7,000 people were lost through net migration in 2025, as more people left the island than settled in it. While the migration loss remains substantial, it represented an improvement compared with 8,800 people recorded the previous year, suggesting a reduction in the pace of outward migration. The latest figures highlight the role that both natural population growth and migration play in shaping Jamaica's overall population. Although births continue to outnumber deaths, the gains were largely offset by net migration losses. Policymakers and planners are expected to use the data to help guide decisions relating to healthcare, education, housing, employment, and long-term national development. Westmoreland health officials warn of rise in hand, foot, and mouth disease cases. The Westmoreland Public Health Department is urging parents, guardians, and school administrators to remain vigilant following an increase in cases of hand, foot, and mouth disease among children in several educational institutions across the parish. Medical Officer of Health for Westmoreland, Dr. Marcia Graham, said the highly contagious viral illness has been affecting mainly students attending basic infant and early childhood institutions, with some primary schools also reporting cases. According to Dr. Graham, public health officials are closely monitoring the situation and are working with affected schools to limit the spread of the virus. and foot and mouth disease is commonly spread through close personal contact, respiratory droplets, and contact with contaminated surfaces. Symptoms typically include fever, sore throat, painful mouth sores, and a rash or blister on the hands and feet. While the illness is generally mild, health officials say it can spread rapidly in school settings where young children are in close contact. The Public Health Department is encouraging schools to reinforce hygiene measures, including regular hand washing, routine cleaning, and disinfecting of frequently touched surfaces, and ensuring that children displaying symptoms remain at home until they have recovered. Parents are also being advised to seek medical attention if symptoms worsen or persist. Health officials say continued cooperation between families, schools, and healthcare providers will be essential to reducing transmission and protecting the health of children across the parish. That brings us to the end of today's edition of Jamaica News Now. Today's headlines once again highlight the issues shaping life across Jamaica, from ongoing police operations aimed at removing legal firearms from our communities to important developments in the courts, public transportation, public health, and national population trends. As always, we'll continue following these stories and bring you verified updates as new information becomes available. If you found today's briefing informative, please like this video, subscribe to Jamaica News Now, and turn on notifications so you never miss our daily news updates, breaking stories, and weekly parish roundups. We'd also love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below and tell us which story you believe will have the biggest impact on Jamaica. Thank you for watching. Stay informed, stay safe, and look out for one another. This has been Jamaica News Now. Good night, and we'll see you in the next report. Subscribe today, turn on notifications, and never miss the stories that matter most. Jamaica News Now, your Highlands, your news, right now.